General Kabaka Bomfa this year na me akosu abene waba Okatakyie Afrifa Mensa Amia Santiago na Yokohine. Shego Vera of Ghana Media, an activist. Me medical catch say me journalist. Me activist. And I mean penimfo a wo mo enimde na wo mo abobbe e wo mrem na eja wo mu defense the country animo no e ba twenkomo. The onu so bie adwene ni mo se adwene no anya adwuma body no ebre onu so ewofia ha David Kakase enso save the nation onu so person oboa emi save wo man no lawyer Oliver Baka lawyer ni mapa lawyer kwaba bibi ada dey
Beneden so you work here
lawyer Oliver Baka convener ma fix the country na fix the country ye call takrade 21st of next month. Takrade, I say, second day takrade, obeye. Abraham, Akwaba.
Yeah.
Bibi abakode.
Boko.
Fix the country ni ko yedi.
Koye. Yeah.
Na sikana ekoje ye ne wanya hye.
Sikana me nyen hu. Sikana ye nkura invoice na invoice wo hobs na do ye ho de. Zabeda case ka.
Wana ma bribe otwere invoice.
Yeah, kwaji e bribe na invoice wo. Hobs na do ya ne yi. Ernesto. Wo su men power de zabeda case ka no.
David Akwaba.
Yeah.
O kwa koso mo kwaji scan biara.
Because
everyone many hopes say kasano. Hopes say me na man ko bi dia fair enough. Na nkofo ko bi e leaders ne mienu no mo ko so mbaji o. Na me say na say hopes say wo ka say captain pen na ko bi. That means me ko. Wo ko kwaji bia na. Takura de no.
Me ni me mpo.
Jo mama ma 1.2 ni.
Na me say one mama evidence, one more work no.
Sir.
Then I see be fair. Now show mommy evidence.
One minute. Okay, so very quick. While I am now, so now Yafa and started. We are calling for a change of the constitution. Oh, and for say, why will we call for a change of the constitution instead of saying review? Why the change of constitution for this country?
First of all, I am now from a lawyer and I am Bufuka. Lawyer and I am not through from Pacho. Oliver, Mempel lawyer said, I mean, law no me jai. Is there a Ghana Journalists Association? Now, what I'm doing question. Now, I am not, the conversation around constitution, a bad DBR. Now, almost I can add a month review, and that's a month amendments one by one. Now, is there a Muslim open a new constitution? Now, I know they know the truth, and some person can hold no Constitution Review Commission report now cry, I was one of the members of the Constitution Review Commission.
Okay.
Now recommendations say woman 427.
Okay.
Recommendations. And this for a way when omo issue white paper. I reject omo accept only 47% of the whole recommendations.
Okay.
Now recommendations back home reject here no year. I also take no binding national development plan no. Omo reject no.
Omo reject.
Omo say yempe. And so a lot of almost all the constitutional changes now recommend omo ampene. Because constitution review recommendations, no share your constitutional changes and your legislative law and your administrative changes. So they are categorizing. Into ufa constitutional recommendations, about 70% no you rejected.
Okay.
Into it's not say namane woman no nya papa. And they say we don't want the review process again. But you nim say you start review ni biomo. You nim say be end. Because constitutional provision now the best set up review no and not just work now will 1,000-page document no advice keke ema omampenyi
opa no offer
nti say if you go back to that process no enko bebia so yeah first one na mfa na obi say sako hobioma why is the person pushing you back there the air can say every constitution two things our content and our process. Content no here and a process no so here. Now content no a lot of the things now a lot of them are good. And the content problem any content problem me find the content
say what bo trim na woka me wo white paper president the then president Johnny Van Satamels de eto constitutional review report no so now you call page 4 now if I call page 5 process of development. Also, the government does not accept the CRC's recommendation for the Constitution to prescribe grassroots participation in wide range stakeholder consultation in the national development planning process. Since these are already provided for in the National Development Planning Systems Act 1994 and Act 480 and the Local Government Act 1993 Act 462. Eti Omar rejected, they do not accept it.
Yeah.
I know your Professor Mills abai and edesa and to her.
Into me say process no here, and I dare me say process no here, and yet for two reasons. We hear over 200 constitutional recommendations, 247 no kwano. What they happen, they say, we a process no, the new committee be CEO, and they determine say all the changes to the constitution say, but yeah, just again have voted 247 times, and say it's no. How is that practical? Say we go share voting booth. Near team so 247. One ebeye. So already no, they wanted to use that as a way and say the enko nim. Into the can say okay, recommendations na ya gather ni no. When we have prepared it no, you can go through that process ni biom. It goes straight to the people. My people no vote direct. And you can only achieve that through a new constitutional document. Now here can say, and you said the work 1992 constitution now papa no will reject everything. Of course there are things which are there already. But if you go through a review process, now the no matter how good it is, no, it will again go and first they say the Parliament, the Council of State, no more pan no more year. It won't him. But what we are saying is that if it goes from the Constituent Assembly, drafting straight to the people, now people need vote also. That is the only process I bet me all the things that happen it will come to pass. But they know this. They be a new consumption, add a new constitution, won't go a review because they know that the review process does not allow you to do the amopesa moyeno. Secondly, offer review near first one. No? The only thing that this government MMDC elections. Now no almost a son. Almost decided say you say when we went around the country, Ghana for say politics in MPP and this in your bread. But district level, they are technocrats, a development assembly. They should be the only people planning it. Almost decided, said this government decided, say, Yeni Obia on the basis of MPP NDC throughout the country.
Okay.
And I can afford to do an answer monpe. Everybody criticized that process. You know. Oman Benin said, Yamon pen and said, I'm pen and India and Yamachembo. And they said, that is the process that will happen again if we try a review conversation again. Because this processes no allow for the different capture. Omumbe decided the person more year. Now one penny and just own yabium. But if you go to say we adopted Constitution way on 28th April 1992, no, almost for a document no about 2 years and a Ghana for vote here. When a lot of Ghanaians accepted it, no, that was it. So we want a processor, every politicians and give it to the people for them to decide. That is the only way our reforms need a so that's why.
But people have raised questions. Say 1 million votes. I say yeah Ghana. By the way, let me remind you, sir. So to me call vote.fixthecountry.com now. Echo vote for a year no. You vote no. A vote of no confidence in the constitution. But Ghana for say the constitution does not prescribe. Say that is the way forward for changing of this constitution. So it's an exercise in futility. The kind of science I didn't know as Sabio would
yeah.
Why the 1 million votes?
So first of all, I think vote as a constitution here one, and yet only legal document, a political document. Now, I say a simple for Kai say, over MPs or more Kromano, I mean 247.
Right.
All the appointments of president in Yenano and brute 7,000.
Right.
Jomokan in Aboma 8,000. Now say 1 million Ghanaians, I catch 8,000 people say, I say document necessary. One no. So first of all, it's about engaging the process. Now, President Akufo-Addo clip now boy, you know, or say he hasn't gotten the sense that a lot of Ghanaians want this thing. And it's a 1 million Ghanaians catch those in leadership say the Epenia. If they reject it, and first of all, I say, do we have a democracy? That's the first question. So, after 1 million people have voted. Now, 1 million, 3.6 million people voted for this document in this country. Now, when we continue this process, now we get more than 3.6 million people, meaning that more people are rejecting the document than those who even brought it in place. Then what does that tell you about our democracy? So that process is no here. The second thing is Yesterday can new constitution. Ebinim say what can new constitution treason. Ne why. Constitution ankasa ka say the only way you shouldn't change this constitution is violently. And that if you do non-violently and lawful means you can change the document.
That's a one for two and a two good year. That's our family kwaso maybe boko dia obetimi asa constitution no but one creating impression say constitution is unchanged.
Now kind dey make wo you call August 4 demonstration. We see first 1, 2, 3 republics no soldier for ni good no. Nso yen for two engo for republic because I knew what the document was telling you say any violence now the change document no.
Fan wo constitution na chere say any violence na e change na mom ye de eye emra anesesa no.
I say article 3. Any person who by himself or in concert with others or together by any violent or any unlawful means.
Unlawful.
Yes.
By any unlawful means. That means one. So when you sue violence,
and when you
sue unlawful means, the ultimate is a constitution.
So the first thing you be saying is okay. So no violence. What is the lawful means to change the constitution? What do you say?
Right.
So this is a conversation we want people to have. In the first of all, you violence nephew. They say there's no violent processes going on. Now, when you go to every other country, the constitution provides way for the people themselves to initiate constitutional amendment processes. A couple of days ago, last week, Kenyan Supreme Court, President initiated a process. So best is a constitution. And the constitution review Supreme Court said there be. It is the people to whom the power belongs to. Or no, someone initiated the process. The constitution you create or military era no. It doesn't create a room for the people no constitution to change it. And so Article 1 now say the sovereignty of Ghana resides in the people, for whose welfare this document has been created.
Meanwhile, it doesn't give them the right to say me person sana na me sana.
And then so our process of saying say you pay 1 million vote no is to first of all show everybody in this country say anya yen kwa na yete hwa ye kasa anya say Okatakyie na ye kan say constitution say yen hu bibi. But that a lot more Ghanaians want this process. So that process no here. Now making lawful means no oko article 297 our constitution one you be implied powers clause.
And no bro finance just say
298. I say if there's anything constitution and provided and define here, Parliament will to me to be able to make that change. So it means article chapter 25. Or chapter 25, no, it only talks about amendment. One map processes laid down for the change of a new document. First of all, my choice article 3 and say non-violent and lawful. So when you don't have violent now, or say lawful means no way, then you go to article 298. Or say if I haven't stated how to go about it, Parliament has the power to do it. And the day can I say all it takes for Parliament to say is that we are passing a law which creates a constituent assembly. And when that process is done, it must go to the polls for 60% of people to come to the polls and 70% to adopt the document. Referendum. Then you have a new document. Yeah, no, 1 million year try. You say you need a constitution. You say you constitution if you call. But we want to show that 8,000 people no more government. They say 1 million people have called for a new document. That's all we are doing as citizens of this country. And you'll be nature and any party be say party and Ghana ye. I said no, change the document that's what we're asking for.
Okay, lawyer Oliver Bakameda say, Mamenko Avraham Ben Moshe no and they do common sense family. Abraham, call takrade on the 21st. Common sense family, you say you are integral part of a fix the country demonstration. So far, Diana, you think the takrade people should be expecting whilst we are coming there on 21st?
Yo, whether ashafone social media for na say eja omo ya babia omutie yen na me nua teacher kojo so beda na sepa na wa mamra ho won se ba my door kakra de kan nyina ne se ekuduru takra de na obi amba kura yen kwa be nante afa kurom won se ye de adwen bi hye yetirim first one ye no akra ne se obi amba po a ye leaders no ye be so ye nsem na ye show the Ghanaian people say sa ansesanda ebesesa wochina aha nti takrade for the catcher one say na me ne takrade guy bi kasa no kasa chale opa bebi a ho kire wo pa west side ho chama boys ne go get to and na sebe abrabo mo ankasa o mo dreaming as kids and afi omu facing in life and am bad leadership inti Teta Crowd for say omumbra massive Kwame Nkrumah woda so yen fenshe Ghana ni munyam yen fenshe Kwame Nkrumah ni munyam yen fenshe Echirime ni munyam de ye nyina no me ka kire obi say Okatakyie white na eba ya bodwesem no na na do mu free hwa the next generation of nkokora ye de esi ha no so anti ko bia me repeat me pese asem bi to na adutrim o man pay na adutrim as a president and a Christian so ye Christo no je Bible dia Okatakyie Bible ne say wenyia no 70 to 80 wow anti o man pay na do 77 na o je Bible dia aka ni 3 years we wiase you nti me Okatakyie me ensiri yo ni bresem aka ni 3 years nti ede na oye within these 3 years na wo free wa ya bonidi ya kai no me mo obi ate ase obi antama mpanyin na nado ye kete na nado for what bone ben wa ye hwe bra na nado abran se kunwe be ka ne nsa edube na no kra Ghana for kra mobo enti edube bi ye Ghana for kasa da bi se de papa ye ni abre a opese obetna kunwe su owo bibi pamo man no te de bia me ka se Ghanaians didn't vote for MPP. They voted for Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo because they believe in him. Only say do baby Abronya ka say be say Nana Addo no stage kumi preko no enyo no te ho no. Which is a painful truth. We hwe ne den na ho keka even constitution ye ka ho asem mo so mo kwachi atumi. Nana Addo akabi. Okay bi and na de osesa no ntia o ka say me say say oba obi na trust script na man no be kan na enyo no e kasa no. So ade hwe open mame obuku no mo hwa de bi Ghana fo nyina me de say me wo ekurasefo level say Oliver akasa na speak me ekurasefo no mo so mo boss na me muntie Ghana constitution no ene ade afia we ana empanyufo trans no problems bi wa ha yen hu bibi na yen solve ana mu yi ska solve yes solve
6 million US dollars.
6 million US dollars.
6.8 million US dollars.
6.8.
Omu written document say. Maku 83,161.
Yes, solve problems in.
Omu ko US, UK, Germany, Amsterdam. Omu ko Benin, omu ko Porto Novo, omu ko Bebia except Cote d'Ivoire that time. Now watara mo konto. And omu Ghana for more than 7 million agene. Including Nana Addo, including Kufuor, including a former Chief Justice Crab, Theodore Wood, it's a Penny, Bamford Addo, Professor Mills, John Mahama, Omuji will be agony, and Omudi form is idea.
Table your form a class for Casamuna made a Chramon, Ghana Constitution and the Fiawe, when the Boomino, and I'm paying for trans and no, I'm saying problems be waha, young solve, Anamawa. And the year Quaka also match out to know. Any year ska over 6 million US dollars. Any other solve problems in Adia Fiawe no problems resolution in you. Bebacha utie Adia Fiawe ye solve problems here. Ye konya huma kakraka we yampacha o Ghana. Ye problem e adeketwa. Into the solutions to the Ghanaian problem is this. Wait. Any. The be may ho atoyen na we nya fa hodie. Na ye gold, ye oil, ye timber. Fertile land ye wo e Japade Ghana wo no e bi aso so a man pay na do ka kire Ghana for say media sebe me nya corrupt na media me ba yeti sika so me ba be tu Ghana Japade no na matu sika na gumo so no solution na wa ha enu nti e na ya sorry no anya na do na de man pay na do nti ase ne say first no na social media ni ho de also ti ase ni na radio station fie bi a politicians now they control into the media will feed you with what the politician want you to know. Tiati what was so tally radio now the cannot now see koli. Tia catch your radio so say ya kwan e we kure bi ase a. Sanka ye radio so and na teacher ko jotia and work school dan yan koda bi timu a we ka say wo boa. And the social media and television ti ye ka no na ye yi video di a kyerɛw. And ye ni e bi na say no e was here fix it. Ye ka say ye fix no. E ye wo man pay na nado. E ye wo na to mi hye wo nsa. Any the pressure go se fix it. To the other say accept say dear no man beto a perfect system. Me by now they broken that. May try say me fix it. Into mo kura mo mo me na ye fix it. Makwa ko create fixing the country movement say mo be kantai.
Political.
Even omudin fixing the country ni kwache say omo accept the idea ban. Obi say fix it. And now they fix na ba. Meaning the all catch say fix it no. Oni na ya again. Ebufo be na wo. Dia concept mo yene say we invited the leaders na di emebu nenim no ye ne ye ko ghetto so Chale o se san ko ghetto ho biomo.
Oh, me do ko mfufro.
Another ghetto.
Me do ko achimota.
Ye dru
aye base.
Wo betu dru ghetto bi won
Ye be ko California achimota.
Owura be fi kra se saa da na so de duane hwe onum na wudi. Owura ba ko. Enyo enye te de bia me ka se amemu ne edi bu nipa ewo kromu ha no. Sebi mpreduasa. Sebi mu animu a odi bu mua ewo UK wo be ko jail. Enyo man pegina na de ko Germany de be ken na say into sifi play mu ka kwan onam so nti wan fere ana
na wo kaka kwan asem no
aba
krowe mu ye ka kwan nyina including the da wo wani mu amfuturo ayesoma no 67,326 it would be running it up 67,500 per world standard wo ye a kilometer of asphalt road nyasa asapete fun no mo ye no a kilometer of asphalt road 1.5 million Ghana cedi na cost it, okay, which is about $400,000 okay. Ghana coin nyina is 67,500. What multiply by yes $400,000 say here 35 billion US and a dia.
Now ya fix ya Ghana nyina.
Ya musi ya say your gold, your oil, your diamond, your bauxite, and worth senya. Eti company phone ni mnyansa obi si wo ba beto gold akache nse sa wo paper na wa print say friend US dollars no me pe fa ba ye makwan ma me we ya kwan this kilometer of road amema this amount of gold ani me dey omo negotiate this about trade no omo pego motom no ma chedi it won beje papers ya print so
once that no me kire why money was invented no say e akronfo na invented money because it's a barter system okay we gold o ba also natural resource by na wo e na de ba be exchange ti sat na obi nsisi obi o de say salt kra na de ba o de beji gold a e be hwe equivalent na de ko ana broni tell say no ma mean create legal tender bi paper bi na me na mesa print paper no onu America no to no o twa ne currency onu o twa ne sika enti me ka kire Ghana fo mpanyimfo o ko bobo se wo US ya obi se o ska wo pra no afro pa chonkrofo na ba o ti na ska mo ko gi na eni wo o mo aba mo ntwe ska ne ma wo nti fa ne se me ne wo to chacha ena me wo gold show bottom ena me wo printing machine ya di tweska wo me nchen ena me se e ska ne ye de to na mo wo hie ska me na me tweska no nti fa gold bra na je paper ne to chacha no your gold will finish and I'll still be printing currency
and nobody's thinking
ena black man bibini en value natural resource na mom or values ha paper na bro ne printing no. Now we say politicians so a system na slave masters ni jato ho no.
Now this year Mako David so no.
And one no so abegina so nti a new form of slavery. Hwe slavery ne say obi also mo aduane di. Ono mo aduane ni o. O try say wo survive so o say no o ma kwan na wundidi. But hwe aho kire nti yenuanom university graduates na adani Okada drivers. Any taxi drivers. Afe yanam a hwe atiti a police for taxi drivers any Okada. No Okada for the mobile. Boy be frame ya chi Okada ba 20 something. And no to say Avraham. Husband man na me ye wada na me nya 5,000. Na ma po Okada na me didi. A police for tata ya.
What him say me kan sisudua. Accra Regional Police Commander. They are aware of the Uye Okroma with Okada people. Or should that me set a operation Okada arrest. Tienye. Ni achi Okada for akogo the different police unit no okwa wo say wo de machine be free regional one be he say documents no ni a frustrate wa 3 days ya frustrate wa say wangasa wotimi nya hwe na say nka okotua
yeah
I know of that it is happening watch me boys ni bebre wo mo frame meanwhile omukura new document kura or say how document ni oh okay yate wo de ye kwa verify say but 3 days, 4 days, 5 days next war, 81
yeah,
Accra Regional Police Commander.
Boys, this camera boys now frustrated. Okay, one said prostitution, any crime rate, cost of my pay. Now we say unemployment, any a which this idea never. We because Avraham says ya no kwai ye be fa so ye be didi so a. Mo pese be didi dia. E dia chale ye be say o man no. Enti omo na yase say
on baby am do call ye na we say unya be ko ngeto no. Brother, I'm going to show you. Do you remember? Me anka se me so nsa 1 AM do akọ. Woni me tu e boys won okruma. Boys wo tu okruma.
Okatakyie enya wo na beka. Say police for any soldier for we survey bi. E tu e wo citizens in seven e chen de omomu kura no. omo ankasa nu asem etu na ekuta citizens no e get to no e chen de mumu kura ti muntutu ne meye ye ne ekwa ne ya send boys na kasa munya abotre na the only way I betumi aso man Ghana na say e be start with peaceful demonstration ne ni mpanyimfo akasa e na ya start no onimade a Ghana ni bia otia brochire e betwero e wo social media say 22 days after your demonstration has Ghana been fixed say sebi mpredu yasa sebi o say wo modam kakra ye demonstration 22 days I was say change your mind no ye ade positive ye ade a utumu say affect leadership obo say no embebu no sole no anka wo wotia brochire enjoy better system wo better yechi na efutuo bi amode amaye no omumom na esoliti an to because say you can never fight for the black man with two hands. You will fight with one hand and use the other hand to stop the fools who will be disturbing you because
David, ya brana so come on TVXY and me need Okatakyie every famous and me need fix the country. Conveners ana Asia ye dim komo. David, save the Ghana, you save Ghana ana odenu. David akwaba.
Yeah.
So far, save Ghana for more joining fix the country. Takwadi, what should they be expecting?
The can say bedding can echia ahwefo na one of social media na won so wotie oman na ye wom edumbra o chade obia and sorry Ghana say tum essaw anase abofo tumi ba Ghana eba Ghana because of our resources what should say the world cannot come to Ghana for loan. But essence adjina sebe. Yentu enji enhu enkweti no. Anything Ghana edu baby edu. Yenhwe opportunities e with Takrade. Takrade boys was sorry ah. Nyoma 1 year wait so be and obeye. This is why we are asking say wait 21st September. Se ye takwadi ni ye tadi ni nkoten dia ye besre se obi anfa no dem demonstration no because Ghana no ye papa Abudankwa Ekufado a chen se oman ni ye ohia man wo ye ne den na wonua ne den na ambe ma ye bre oman ni mu no ye hwe COVID-19 test wo ye we wo friend them Kodoka International Airport obi a we $150 and what you be bia Nipa Afra Kotoka International Airport a day 9,000. Multiply national sky in a day or Ghana, Kotoka International Airport in Gotin. 1.35 million US. And yet raise Kotoka International Airport, our COVID-19 demo. Then it is all my way to me. Sas can ever. Look Australia, what did you go to? And what do you are crying? But Ghana, what I do Ghana, everywhere we offend 50 meters road there, baby, a package road. But other nations, they don't do it that way. Israel, 80% desert. 95% of the band would, Israel for one side would dear. Ghana, you are fertile land more than Israel. Ya Bobosia, ya Kwedi Bansre. You trade the bank at your what desert so. Now you can be motivated to radio so, at it to TV so, at it to social media. I catch and say there's nothing to be fixed in this country.
Oka the whole Africa, in fact, the whole of the world. If we are seeing na, ye kase asasi ye dua so aduane a year, which Bruni friend Arabo lands. The whole world, continent na your friend Africa no. Enkwa was 66% tienie. Say ye che eye baby aduane mu 100. African kwa was 66%. Meanwhile, African country, African continent no. Even there should be a country, not continent. African continent no, ye cry every year food to the tune of more than $10 billion onto this continent. Every year. Imagine what $10 billion will do in an economy. Meanwhile, ye say ye dear aduane export become more. And I'm saying what Tibon cost 64 heads of state who have formed a bunch of old men's club called AU.
Now, the AM Yawa Takrade was from the Western region. All you like to Ghana. Contract was signed. Ghana, ye chefa a woman 70%. 55% in painful or man what you walk to come. Shall the attack the Western region show here echo so.
What's the Ghana picture I say?
Tap away Ghana document and mensa kind.
Ghana will move 10%.
Ghana, percentage. Oh yeah, no more. 70%. At the end of the day, one my Ghana on my nina, on my money na, one my 50%. It may be say 70% out of 15%, 55%. One more to come now. Now it's your mom now. Say we Oyo City. And the day I work, I say the people just say who dia so around them. That's why we think that this country is peaceful. What the year we Major Mahama, how they lead Major Mahama, and you trying to tell us say these people are peaceful. Say the day I can say the leaders we don't hate them. Adoye Adoye kaso catch them say. Oma ye ndjuma oma egbe ndjuma nti menkanche mbebu no nko pe ndjuma na me bisa se papa edjuma na mutimu ebue no ebi wan kye me na me fa boys no ko because de bia wo frɛ me wo send a message wo pe ndjuma ye se me ndjuma ni bi wo ntuma ngasa na obroken me. See, we have come to a time say Ghana ni bia ehun se oman no ye yon hia mayampa
oman ni de ye hia mai but ye mre nti ma memra lawyer Oliver Baka so na yenhwe fix the country yedi kan ka kire mo se sika de yenkoje ibu NDC bia ho say 1.2 million na motete na yentro propaganda. It is a way to separate the leadership from the masses. Lawyer, so far your financial statement Senator machine I said Senator your 1.2 million Ghana cedis.
Well, I mean, at last count, no, na is it can carry 200 Ghana cedis. You call demonstration, you call press conference, no, and I went to meet TV reporter. Everybody said na he's solid. I'm say, but when a poor people revolution, then he needs says Ghana, and I'm a political party there, and I'm a Jesus can go. Now, one of the things that I decided is credibility here. Into no Ghana for now till this point, I'm gonna so you move baby do no. One neighbor continue higher than I trust you. Into the start here, no. Yes, it's a 2 CD, 1 CD, Pacho, fascinating. Mobile money neighbor resist car. A last demonstration here, no, almost $23,000 Ghana cedis near spending here. Engineer for Ghana for. Uncle for sending even on the day and a panel of the demonstration in Pono. Now, Obi sending me 10 CD from Osio Wa, Undimima, but Opeso 10 CD. Now, me no, a young microphone, a person will measure the kind of support Ghana for face the country now. I am saying 15,000 for number show in a crown and qua. It's all those people now, or see mini big crano, but in more say, mini big cram, in more way. Now, me from the beginning, no, Obi can say me, you know, me dream hook a cra. Yes, that's it. Yes, you have billboards. Yes, you billboards. No, in go for my 50-50 CD. Billboards. No, you me see. You know, be see. You were yes support him. It's me a national service ni. 50 CD by him. To make me 1 CD. I want I'm starting say 50 CD and Phantom chain. 2 CD because you know I na referee by a honka kra.
Same rant any about any niska.
Go for
niska.
Wow.
E jom for man e besere mo. Mo 1 CD no modern mama politicians say na no na do MPP 2016 kaya yi for mu yi 1 CD boa wo mo yesere mu a ya mo yensu ye bi na ye fanya adwuma ne mamo ai lawyer so in case obi person or support fix the country with coins 1 CD 50 pesos yesere mu a machine no ehia oil we need the people to move us na ye ani ngwaji ska obi a I'm telling you honestly. Yangi sika wo bia ho. Obubu am see yanje 1 CD grand for bia ho. In case obi person support here, what can the person do?
So mobile money in resist car. Over Vodafone so Voda cash 054 921 4976. Me si subiom 054 921 4976. 054 921 4976. And you have Vodafone cash. But also sending a BBR and found now answer the second number. No, who's sending 1 CD poor? Okoye website. Obia din wo ho. We from Kojo main one. Near Kojo M. so that chess him to be good do a change show but while call less no so ko jo no to see da ho a won sampa these people are counting to you nti no ye nji usika bi na wo de usika bi maya na ayera pese wo hu say wo contribute no send e spending ni de e de ye ni nyina akọ den for face the country eba MTN mobile money so a 0555 873339 Mrs. Subio 0555 873339 but MTN Momo
Aboche for beso mo bua o mo so nyere
Aboche for beso mo bua and they any of our social media say Facebook say Instagram say Twitter GH face the country oko wa first na bo ho no obehu PayPal obehu GoFundMe out me send over your cash app and so GH face the country or cash apps out me the send yen so ni nyina so ebebo yen
we wo ho ana obi afro na Okatakyie minya ka behia na yes empese e behia politician bia etu politician kro na obezo sponsor yen no yesere wa momo account no politician wo send e ba yamma mehia no ni nkomo bia send number na ebeto wa ye de be adwuma ye nim de o send ye de ebeto mu kwa de ye de bebom but you see ade ba ko ne say whether ye nya musika o ye nya o ye tu ye ho asi wo sa adwuma we ye nya ne nya ne kira we anu amene Oliver kasa ofo so na just are hosam kura ya ba na me say senior o de nya we ya ka kran so kura ya ne ade ye bosumi akatu kura ya je ye de ba sponsor me kame papa daka ya sorry no Aram
yeah
Fabrante
me takwade for na ya show mo
Western region
Western okay Western
ayi takwade nko
Western
ayi bodi asankregwa sawidwa aboso ekofa awa so ekwa kosi eye benso top oil palm plantation oil palm plantation edi wo mu besi eye takwade secondary ene important mu nyina o
wow
in fact ke kosufo no kura betimi ababi a wo mu nyina amra twifo prasofo nyina amra o mo na biche wanya takwade nko o when they the food basket of this country, the western side of this country, the food basket, but ko here o mutim ko he o makwan
ya rehosem
je o mu nyina na eba
ti abushafo am say ya yete nyina ye di mwanim no ye nyina ye dwuma ene ye nkwa ene ya dofo ye taking risk ene ye de ye say dwuma ko teacher ko dwa betre waka teacher for asemi wadane number 1 enemy ti sesi and akoye ne say obi bi obe say o ka no kura bia no domo ye ne say they start attacking things that you love, things that give you happiness obi say me Abraham say unu say be a pub eno mugu pub no
e say o ma sha say ka me barbering shop no me di blade ba ko yi nipa miensa na menim de obetena ho a o can't say blade we ada ho we yaba they yaba they just want to destroy my business but me I can tell you miss you don't know me
sa no mo ye ombe ya no mo de tanishe we image na sa na tie o say me say wo hwe brana me wo religious religion side na na me ka kire me CSF on religion me nyai me ba ho religion e another serious problem the mechanic said you obesum bi asom but me ma religion deprive you happiness on this earth me ka kire say nyankopon ma nipa 70 to 80 years wan fa ma wo wi ase we se fa be heaven or the mouse fa be enjoy life. Tell the kind of book of Ecclesiastes. Or say the human nipa man say, or better ewie yase, na we did no one nom, na ne near jet ne nkwane nyina. Say the be na ni wonam ebe enjoy life e we wiase nti and ye pay good hospital. The ni pay here ebra ye tiase no, we buy more time because ye need time. Till we eat good food for more time. We need good roads for more time. We need good hospital to buy more time. Because yare oba bewu, also kokoje more time. Tini wa ha no. Well, intimisraw wa also hwe na wiase we wumfa nko baabia no ma menche the simple thing to do wumfa wiase nko baabia anadwi bompae na ka che yankopon wiase ene mu niema nyina besa ikumi anadwi na membra heaven ho na ba ko nanti gold so na wo gold na nkasa yankopon de bia tested before heaven bi o aga na ne bi ense ho Chinese ne be ko because heaven ye ko nanti gold ne diamond so no yankopon de kakra she from air say you know the value of it here before you come there as above so below what you na China need to kwa say unsu a obekwa heaven Tibem say Yankopon. Judgment day. Oma me Avraham ne common sense for. Yanya bouncers e heaven gate. Heaven na ye will be the bouncers. Ghana ni be secret wo. Do you politician?
David ba me rap na yamra lawyer so na.
You were beautiful guests e wo krom ha mo. On my Ghana.
You were ma o mo.
You were ma wo ho ye fe. Rwanda I would the same mbano or do promote our tourism ministry. But Ghana am no ya to din asawo.
Sleeping.
Cap guests. See, we should value what we have. We should value what we have. Dia, ye pese ye ma Ghana esesa eye nenwa. Eye adikititi be da ye na ho. Na sabe nyansa efra ye enitia. Ye besre Oman no eyi a eyeme no na eyi maye. Dr. Kwame Nkrumah beye ekwa no ye dan wo boni di. Oman peni kufo eba ebeye ekwa no ye ne na eti oman ni mu. John Dramani Mahama former president obeye ekwa no ye ne na eti oman ni mu. And ahoche a imbebu no osu no onu ye na esu which means obeye na eyi a nkobe eyi. Ghana ye so no oman no dem be frag ne dam kom no. Omano Ghana fun ebe ma ayi enye China ni na ebe abeye ma ayi medam ase
lawyer for me sorry
Okatakyie me na masam nyina yetia de make ne say once na kofododo na ka party ho asem ese party no na divide yen na pese me so na de bia me pese me ka ethnicity so ho asem kakra because hu hia me na say nra no bi say ne message say ade na de bia na mo ka mo say get to for na ya ka no nye Ghana fo ni bia na me yesterday adwuma yesterday kan no I mean social media mo ho no doso first no mo say ne Twitter database fo nko na mo ne mo kasa na Twitter database na
afi ya tiesi form eno so yesi yi Ghana yepese Ghana sesa na say kasa na e de but again religion ethnicity no ho hia me because na ye sorry na ye say ya igbeni akani fantini yini dagbani dagomani nsemuhunu na de bia meka ne say omo ana ye hu omo o cycle no na dagomba fuwo hadi kan dagomba na dagomba fuwo kan kran na kran fuwo o say na o kan twi ni fantini kan fanti me mete on me ya igbeni aigbefu ginaginem na bebre so be chia me omo nyina so na de ba ko pe na ha omo kom de won na kom na de won no mbi so omo na o vi aflawo ndine gama gie ndine hu hia me se ye di sanya man beto twene nyina ye koma Ghana na se party no sorry o se ha ne stronghold ye ne stronghold nyina ne Ghana fo nyina bia kom wo bia no ye stronghold bia wakwan asai no ye stronghold bia school dan ne nya no face the country stronghold nti so wo hwe community na wo se nyama nya wo ho a wo se face the country stronghold na wotim na fa wo hujim. Thank you. But I say sir what I saw we fix the country conveners lawyer Oliver Baka and also on lawyer so Oliver Baka vomo minu igbeni but you see said no ka ethnicity me tm santini me wo fanti blood esa wo mu from Elmina because me papa ye fantini from Elmina so originally my name is even an Eminsa ahini ne ho kro no benzina me ni akoye so I'm a fanti from the other side we ye no free wa me baba igbeni
almost wonyo
me nyo hine me plastic chair so ye fani nyina anto said your Oliver Kaye no se bo bia no a okodwo mu a ya ka kire ne se ufri hefa ansa ne amoduane adi ukoka omo so yo ohene you do not do politics me dey and me kan sama kire o ma sheda na o mo create some confusion be in the minds of the people sa ahemfo nye politics a o mo nkire edwa na wo mama ahemfo se ohene de o pa bibia to a ko sa adwonum ne ho ne oma boofo sa fu wo na ahemfo to a ne boofo chen nkrofo no mesere mo nkire ba bia wo se mo ntimi nkire de na ahemfo no we are the stakeholders of this country and we will have a say. I'm telling you Osha wa my way from Chukobia Mafutia Kente Obri Abu Amubesi Eye Niko Benaboni the Teda. These are the people who fought for the freedoms of their people more than today politicians who are the next slave masters. And when you make a document and you tell us the people who fought for the freedoms of their people do not have a say in active decision making. What can I say? Active politics. What is active politics? Active politics in here, what decides what this country goes to. John Dumalone na Diabwari, who decided the price of fuel, and there be a politician in the decide. You be decided, you be part of active politics. Ne, I am a China. I will be anti stop here. Meaning, Okatakyie Kwame a free for mensa. Mena me ya Santiago na yokohene. Na me ba ene eya Santiago na bosomfo. Ba buduro bosomfo. Oye asante men nyina ekomfo. Me ba ene ya Santiago na man hene. On tiasia nen tiasia chena. Eya wodia beje. Ebe share next week.